there, folks. This is Rocky Red Panda here for P&D Studios. It is Wednesday on my channel, which means it's time for another awesome food review. But before we get to that, make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe for more awesome videos here from P&D Studios. I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to everyone that's been watching my reviews, because you guys are the reason I still do this, and you support your local businesses and restaurants, especially checking out these places I review and trying it for yourself, because I always leave each episode with, don't take my word for it, which I am actually saying, go try it. You know, it's pretty cool. So I also have a question someone asked me, are you a restaurant critic or are you a food critic? Well, I'm actually a food reviewer, or what you call a food critic, which is different from a restaurant critic. So a food critic talks about how each ingredient enhances or detracts from another, take note of the freshness and quality of the food that is served, technique and creativity, overall taste, chef skills, menu planning, presentation skills, the food, the price, the atmosphere, the wait staff. That's basically what I review. I talk less about the restaurant itself, and I'll talk more about the food that they serve. So with that being said, let's get into this week's review. We're going to a place near and dear to my heart, because I grew up in Hershey, Pennsylvania back in the 80s. I was very little, but I remember this place so well. This place is called the Cocoa Diner. It's open 24 hours. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they're located not actually in Hershey, but in a little small place my dad grew up with, actually lived in for a short time, called Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. Now, nowadays, the only time I get to go to Cocoa Diner is if I'm in that area. That's usually Hershey Park. That's usually going to concerts, sporting events, or concerts. Mostly concerts now, because once the concert lets out, you go to Cocoa Diner. Now, Cocoa Diner is basically Hershey's or Hummelstown's version of what we in Gettysburg call the Lincoln Diner. It's amazing. It's good food. I absolutely love it. But don't take my word for it, folks. Watch this review. Or video, I should say. Watch the video. So, the Cocoa Diner is actually not located in Hershey. It's located in Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Hershey. I grew up in Hershey in the 80s, so it brings back a lot of feels. I used to go to Fox's grocery store down the road. My mother used to work at the Reese's factory, and my dad worked at Hershey, Penn State Hershey Medical Center. So, you know, Hershey was kind of like my 80s childhood. And of course, so was the Cocoa Diner. Now, the Cocoa Diner is open 24/7. It has breakfast, lunch, and dinner with breakfast served all day. Parking in the front, ample, handicap accessible. Yes, yes, and yes. So when you first arrive to the Cocoa Diner, you walk in, they'll seat you at your table, whether it be a booth or a table. And then you get your menu. The menu is your typical diner fare. Like I said, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But we're only going to be talking about one thing today. We're going to be talking about their amazing breakfast. Now, usually when I go to the Coca Diner, it's when I'm in the area. But mostly it's when I'm done with a concert. I go to Hershey Park Stadium. Or I go to Giant Center. I see a concert. I see a comedian. And then what do we do? It's late at night. What's open? Coca Diner. And we just hit here. And it's almost like you don't just go to Coca Diner. You end up at Coca Diner. That's the same with Denny's. But their food is good. So I ordered my usual when I get at restaurants, which is 2 eggs, over medium, hash browns, white toast, in this case it's a sweet toast, and if they have corned beef hash, I get the corned beef hash. And my mother always gets her usual, which is omelet, usually a vegetable omelet or a Western omelet, with home fries, wheat toast. So let's talk about all of this, but she also got soup, so it's going to throw us off a little bit, but we got this. So let's talk about my plate itself. The eggs. There's certain ways to cook the eggs, but these eggs were cooked just right. I get them over medium. I've seen plates where they burn the edges of the eggs, so it tastes from the flavor. And I've also seen places that undercook the eggs. But these eggs, the white was just perfect. Yolk, perfect. Easy to break. Stick your bread in. Sop up with your potatoes. Now the potatoes, they're tasty. Seasoned right, cut right. I love the potatoes. Just a little salt and pepper. Now let's move on to the corned beef hash. The corned beef hash itself, well, it reminded me of stuff that you can get at Harmel and stuff you can get at the grocery store. You just open up with a can opener. So there's nothing special about the corned beef hash. So my dish with everything together and with the corned beef hash and all of that, I'm going to give my dish an 8.5 out of 10. Now let's flip the table around. And we're now looking at my mother's food that you saw in the video. Let's start with her soup. The soup, she said, was delicious. It was good. It was what you call the soup of the day. Now here's one thing you have to worry about when you go to restaurants. Usually when you say soup of the day, they're recycling soup maybe from the day before. Or it's always going to be the same soup and they never have anything different. So with that being said, she liked the soup. She ate the soup. It was good. So I'm going to give my mother's soup an 8.5 out of 10. Now let's move on to her omelet. Her omelet was cooked just right because Gordon Ramsay teaches you how to cook an omelet. You put it on for 5 seconds. You take it off for 5 seconds. Put it back on. Put it back off. On, off, repeat, and kind of fold it in, so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Now this was pure yellow. There was no burnt spots on it, and the vegetables tasted beautifully. It blended in with the flavors and the seasoning, mixed with the potatoes you have on the side, the bread and butter, and of course, everything kind of mingled and mashed together. So with the omelet, I'm going to give my mother's omelet meal a 9 out of 10. Now she got the iced tea. You can't go wrong with iced tea. And I got the lemonade. You can't go wrong with lemonade. Now the atmosphere, when you walk in, how's the atmosphere? It's kind of a typical diner atmosphere. The locals go there, old people go there, the senior citizens go there, and they all converse at tables, they talk. People go there to drink coffee. Like I say, when you're done with the concert, you see concert goers going there. So the atmosphere is kind of down home, and I love it. Again, it just reminds me of when I grew up in Hershey, so it makes me feel like I'm back home whenever I'm there. Now the wait staff, they're very attentive, they're quick, they're fast, and they always make sure to check on you at your table. So all together, including the prices, which range anywhere between $2 to $10, so it's easily affordable for everyone. With both my meal, my mother's meal, the wait staff, and the atmosphere, I'm going to give the Coca Diner a 8.5 out of 10. Yay, hoopla. So the next time you're up in Hershey, because a lot of people who come to town like to take day trips up to Hershey, make sure you stop and you try the Coca Diner for breakfast, which is served 24/7. If you've been to Coca Diner, I would love to hear your experience with it. Leave it down below. And as always, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos. But for now, this is Rocky Red Panda signing out for this week's food review. Until next week, folks, good eats. Make sure you keep supporting your local businesses. And I'll catch you next time. Peace out.